What's up, Lagos, baby? Get set.
All right, quite a break that was. 10:43 on the clock. This is still What's Up, Lagos with the Tekes. I am Andrea. Odu-obi, Teke.
And I'm Collins. Teke.
All right, we had to wait for that.
You have always observed that prestige pause. Very necessary.
All right, welcome. It is Techie Talk today. And today's Wednesday. You know how we do it every Wednesday.
That's right.
It is Techie Talk with the Tekes. Before we jump into our conversation today, let me scroll through WhatsApp and
check some messages.
Some people are talking about the makeup. This person here says, Collins, you wouldn't kill someone with your amusing talks. Alex from Ikoyi here says, what's up, Lagos? Hey, Collins. Hey, Andrea. Stop to you two. And he says, Collins, I beg, don't start with the makeup thing. Oh, we don't like makeup because it takes time to put on. Simple. If I want to go out with my wife, I start bathing when she has finished her makeup. Otherwise, I will be dressed and waiting like Mumu for 1 hour before we go out. And he says, okay. This weather is doing me kalu. Thank God I am not going out. And he says, my wife, Queen Elizabeth, cuckoo the house. Children don't go school. So my enjoyments go cuckoo kill me today. Our eyes are on you. Shout out to you, babe.
Well, just expect anything. Could be a baby. Could be just could have a baby visit. Just saying, man.
Philip FBI from Ikorodu says, what's up, Lagos? I stand with Collins on this makeup thing. Too much makeup is mundane, synthetic, wasteful, and to me, an identity crisis.
So people's job, people's hustle is mundane.
Okay. The part that got me up is the identity crisis.
Yes, yeah.
Identity crisis. It's all right. And he says, I love the way my wife wears her makeup, mild most times, at other times none at all.
On Friday we're going to agree on what men want, because who are you doing the makeup for? Is it for other women? If men are involved, so they are saying what they say matters. So what we're going to do is on Friday we talk about this and then have an agreement, do like a communique. We all sign it and say, know what, moving forward, this is what we should stand for. And the identity crisis matter is important. I remember a comedian said one time that some people would have not received their blessing because God will send angel will be looking for them. We will have their natural picture. We will have their natural picture, and we go there and say, no, this is not what God. He said, no, God didn't create this. He said, no, this is not. And they miss their blessing. I've heard one comedian say that before. So the identity crisis is important. Just saying.
It's all right. Dozier from Isolo here says, hey, Collins. Hello, Andrea. What's up, Lagos? Andrea wants to ask you something. Okay? He said, please, I want to ask you something. If makeup is like dressing up for women, so we men don't dress up, Abby. We too need makeup too now.
And
imagine calling some makeup. Why did you say imagine yourself those years on makeup? Why do you have to say Collins on makeup?
Please, let me warn you. Don't use me as such example.
And he says, I didn't wait till now on Friday for this conversation. Yeah. I go open my mouth wide. And the messages come, there are a lot more messages.
We can't finish them.
But on Friday, there'll be an open book for you guys.
It is 10:45. Thanks indeed for joining us this morning on Nigeria's number one for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we are set to bring you the Techie Talk conversation right now. We have a special guest joining us, by the way, and we'll be looking at adapting. That word is quite a difficult word for most people who are used to. They say change is difficult to accept. Adapting is one of those things that show that you have accepted the change. And we are in a world that right now we need a lot of adapting. We need a lot of things have changed. And that's why we'll be looking at adapting to the technological world that we have. And our world is driven by technology these days. And not adapting to the new technologies will just keep you on a disadvantaged position. We have a special guest joining us for this conversation today. And he's a friend of the house. I'll put if you use the definite article to qualified person's name, that means he is the Lanre Basamta. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone who bears that name, but he is live with us in the studio this beautiful morning on Teke Talk. Hi, Larry. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm fine. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
And Andrea, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Really,
too.
really good to see you.
I know.
Oh my. So we'll get into this conversation straight up, but let's lay the foundation, for the listener to understand where the direction of the conversation would be. So 2020, it all started. See, this conversation will speak from 2020. It was a turbulent year in all ramifications. Now, this is owing to the fact that the unexpected outbreak of COVID-19, the pandemic, initially appeared to be, to have altered. That's the word, altered. You know what altered means? The lives of everyone, every single person, in more ways than not. I don't know how to put it. In more than one way. I'm telling you. And recent happenings, even during the COVID, also show that the outbreak led to the creation of unique innovations. Unique innovations that have come to, would say, are dictating how we all navigate through our lives, our businesses, our jobs, and throughout the year. And right up to this 6 months after last year, because it's as if we've forgotten that 2020 was 6 months ago.
It felt like 2020 never happened.
I mean,
like a year that really never happened.
You know?
Right.
but it did. And it changed everything in the entire globe.
True that.
I have to really emphasize on that again, because it has to ring in the heads of every single person listening today that 2020 changed our lives. It's like a cliche. It changed. That means things are not what they used to be. And I'm going to break your heart. It will never go back to what it used to be.
Definitely.
So if you're still expecting that, change that mindset. Now, due to the outbreak also, economic sectors like the telemedicine, blockchain, delivery services, that's logistics, business, e-commerce, remote working, softwares, amongst many other, grew in what I would describe in leaps and bounds. And that's a reality. So what does that tell me? It tells me that, look, some people are getting the positives out of the change. Some people are still nursing the effect of this change occasioned by the pandemic. So where is Teke Talk in the matter? Now, judging by what we've said now, you would agree with me that our world has been more technologically driven in the past 1 year, 6 months than it has ever been in the years before.
That's right.
Statistics have shown that, so there's no argument. So that means if you're not adapting to the technological world that we are in today, Ogbeni, is when you see.
It's a case of whether you like it or not, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have a choice.
Adapt or die.
That's why today we're looking at
bad.
how do we now adapt to this world. Okay, what is the world like, and how do we adapt to it? And that's the basis of our conversation today with the great Lanre Basamta, who, by the way, just did an amazing book. He wrote an amazing book that has to do with hustles, his attempts, and if you haven't seen the book or you haven't read it, you have to do that. Welcome again, Larry.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here, guys.
All right, good to have you. So we're talking adapting, just like, Collins has laid the background, he's laid the foundation, but want to hear your input. Let's start with adapting. It said that from 2020, new technologies have sprung up. We've had new technologies, new apps here and there. How do you think Nigerians are adapting to these technology spring-ups here and there?
Thank you. I think I should start from that word, adapting. I should start by saying the history of life and living is a continuum of adaptation. And I say that because, when we were in secondary school and we thought about biology, we thought about the times of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And how, despite the fact that they were big, they were monstrous, they were the king of the jungle, their failure to adapt led to
Extinction.
If you paid attention or recollect what Charles Darwin said, he says survival is not a function of you being fit or fast. That's not what it is. That survival is the outcome of those who are most adaptable to change. And so the species who survives is not the strongest. The species who survives, it was clear that the strongest died.
Yeah.
He said the species who survives is not the fastest, but is the one who is most adaptable to change. That at every turn in human existence, things will happen that will shock humanity, just like we had in the last 18 months or thereabout.
Yeah.
I mean, we call it COVID-19, but we really think it's COVID-20, right?
Yeah.
Because it sort of stole 2020 from
2020,
us.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so your question was, do I think we are ready as a people to adapt? Maybe not. And the reason why I think we are not ready are more cultural than otherwise.
Wow.
And what do I mean? As a people, we are very communal. We are very touchy. One of the ultimate eternal saying is that in Africa, a child is raised by a village. And so we're communal. We link up. We link with people. And so for us, our culture is more interactive, touch-based. It's very hard. I mean, when I came in and there are protocols for COVID, I still almost went to hug you.
Yeah. True that.
Our culture is like that. And so culture is one.
Yeah.
The second is our lifestyle. We have built our lifestyle around communal interactions, non-digital communication, link-ups, event. I mean, for Africans, you would wonder that for many of us, how we relax is by going to Owambes. We don't have a life.
That's right.
We don't recreate. So our recreations are weekend parties. Our recreations are family visits. And so for us, perhaps we are not culturally readily in that place where we're fully digitized in a world where COVID really shocked us. And for many, I mean, maybe not clinically diagnosed, but for many, they were depressed because the life that they've known all their lives was literally stolen.
True that.
Okay, so it's going to take a shift in mind, a shift in perspective, and maybe a complete change of life for them to be ready.
All right. Fantastic. That's a good place to go on a break and pick some bills, make some money, very necessary. And when we come back, we take this conversation for where Larry just dropped it now. We're talking about adapting in our technological world. You learn a lot, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data, all thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial *777# now to start enjoying these mega plans.
The UEFA Euro 2020 is here, featuring the best of the best, the Sergio Ramoses, the Ronaldos, the Harry Kanes, the Mbappes, and of course you, the super fans. From Friday the 11th of June to Sunday the 11th of July, you can watch your favorite stars battle it out, match after match, to be crowned kings of Europe. The UEFA Euro 2020, it's anyone's game. Get and stay connected to DSTV to watch every game live on SuperSport or on the DSTV app.
The Lagos State Government, through the Lagos State Water Regulatory Commission, is inviting the public to the second edition of the Lagos International Water Conference. Theme: Water security and investment opportunities in mega cities. A case of Lagos State. Date Wednesday, 23rd of June, 2021. Venue Echo Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 8 a.m. prompt. The conference will bring together a diverse range of sector experts, practitioners, scientists, top government officials from across the country, development partners, and industry representatives working across different sectors of water and sanitation across the world to discuss solutions capable of unbundling the obstacles to financial viability and access to clean water and sanitation in Lagos State. The conference will also feature exhibitions by industry operators and equipment suppliers in the water and sanitation sector. To register, kindly visit www.liwac.org for more details.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting me cause I be shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls who know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. You wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they trust Lush Hair Extensions. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Mommy Shade, this child looks sickly. Try and take her to the hospital. I wish I could, but the expenses are too much. Don't tell me you have not heard about LSHS Ilera Eko. Ilera Eko? What is that?
Lagos Health is our wealth. Ilera Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA, has designed an affordable and quality healthcare scheme for Lagos residents. Ilera Eko, at your convenience, you can have access to antenatal, delivery, immunization, management of hypertension, diabetes and other illnesses, family planning and basic emergencies. Register with Ilera Eko branded agents and at the nearest Ilera Eko branded outlets. Pay 40,000 Naira annual subscription for a family package or 8,500 Naira for an individual package and start to experience peace of mind. For more information, call 0700 Ilera Eko or 0800 Ask Lashma or visit www.lashma.com. Ilera Eko, affordable and quality healthcare for Lagos residents.
Lagos Health is our
Not a new level. Where I sample your ticket from best king to big. Yesterday's gone today. It be a lucky day for best king to big. You are royal, you big. Oh, you come make me bet. We best king to big. Go check these scores today. It be a lucky
Bet King, playground for kings.
It's What's Up Lagos, baby. Get set.
It's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, Lagos. These are the headlines. The upper chamber of the National Assembly has received a supplementary appropriation bill from President Muhammadu Buhari to approve 895 billion naira as supplementary budget for the year 2021. Now, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said that the bill is supposed to fund Nigeria's COVID-19 vaccination program. The ECOWAS Court of Justice in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has restrained the federal government from imposing sanctions or harassment, intimidation, arresting, and prosecuting Twitter. Now, the court issued a restraining order following a suit filed by the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 176 concerned Nigerians. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the federal government to pay over $3 billion to Rivers and Akwa Ibom states as parts of the amount formed part of the $62 billion said to have been recovered from some oil companies by the federal government. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has called for steps to be taken to accommodate minority groups in the country as a means of improving democracy. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says smuggling across the nation's borders was responsible for an increase in the daily consumption of premium motor spirit to 103 million liters per day in May from about 62 million liters daily in 2019. And 7 new high-capacity boats have been added to the fleet of the Lagos State Ferry Service, Lag Ferry, bringing the total number of commercial boats operated by the service to 20. Now, also, a Kari card was launched to encourage the cashless and seamless water transportation experience for Lagosians. And lastly, the Confederation of African Football has released the 2021-2022 Interclub season schedule, and this includes the information relating to the list of countries which will be allowed to enter 2 clubs in the 2021-2022 season. And those are the headlines. Thanks for listening. You have a more comprehensive package of news at 12. Now the Teke continues right now on Teke Talk.
All right, thank you, Collins, for bringing the news. Check your time. It's 11:03 on the clock right here, and this is Techie Talk with the Tekers. We're talking adapting to technology in recent times.
Absolutely. I mean, our world today, all over. So adapt, Law. So adapt. No, I want you to understand that. So, because whenever you hear conversation about tech, some people in their head, they think that it doesn't concern them. I'm not a techie. But it's everyone. If you're in the market listening to us right now, pay attention to this. It affects you.
And that's right. And we have our guest in the building, the Lanre Basamta. And he said something earlier that was really deep. It took me going off the mic or going off the air to really have that sink in deep. He talked about the fact that Nigerians are not exactly ready to accept this adaptation because of the cultural effect or the culture that we have here in this part of the world. Whew.
I mean, it's really deep. So let's get into it. Adapting. Let's get. So the world has changed technologically from the time that COVID happened. A lot has happened. Businesses have changed their models. Should individuals be considering that change? And what kind of change? Let's start with individuals. What kind of change or what kind of adaptation do they need to survive in this current day reality?
Okay, thanks, Collins. I would like to start my response by saying that is a knowledge-driven world today. Okay, is a knowledge-driven world today, and what I mean by is a knowledge-driven world today is to advise by saying that you have to admit at the minimum that you don't know enough. Okay? It was surprising even for me, who a lot of the time I come to shows like this and talk about technology. It was a surprise admittance to say that I don't know enough. And that the guy who truly, really knows is the one who really, really gains an advantage. Okay? You don't know enough. That's number one. So what you need to do is to go look out for information. Now, you talked about the world rapidly changing and people not paying attention. Just yesterday, I took about an hour to watch videos of the tsunami. What happened? And I saw that during the tsunami that happened in 2004, on the 26th of December, that within 15 to 20 seconds, people who were alive suddenly died. Okay? So what happened was there was an earthquake that happened at the coast. The ocean bank sort of withdrew into the ocean, and people became fascinated. They're like, I mean, it's just like going to our former Babbage and not seeing the ocean coast there. They drew into, and in 15, 20 seconds, the ocean came back and killed everyone.
Wow.
Yeah, about 250,000 people died. That's 250,000. And these people died in minutes, in seconds. And so what occurred to me as you were speaking is that's how change happened. So some of them saw the water was coming back to their feet. But they're like, oh, this water wasn't there now. Look at it now. And some of them were actually recording it. That look at, the water was not here, it's here. And in a couple of seconds, the water came and just killed them. And that's the way change comes around. And just as you said when we started, a change is happening. A change of more dependence on technology, and not just for collaboration. It's for your craft, whatever the craft is.
Yeah.
And I will share some examples. You know, before now, there were standards for doing stuff.
Yeah.
For example, what you're doing now, you probably go to school for it, then you learn it some bit, then you can only be a radio anchor in a radio station.
Yeah.
The beautiful side is that technology has equalized access. What do I mean? It means that there are no processes anymore that you cannot go behind. Almost there are no process. I'll give you an example. The biggest show in the UK in the last 4 months is Blue Therapy. Right?
Yeah.
So the guy who created Blue Therapy, I think, is the Nigerian in the UK. He created the show, and the show is not on any TV.
Wow.
He realized that for him to create for him to create a successful show on TV, you needed to be signed by a TV network. That TV network needs to ensure that you have a sponsorship. You need to have paid for a 13 weeks season 1 simulation.
Yeah.
The guy realized that he couldn't do that. He had a creative idea. He had some cameras. They use just one building on one floor. They shoot in one room, except when they use the lobby. And the show is one of the most successful. So the guy said, you know what? Whether a TV signs me on or not, I'm going to have this successful show. I'll make all my money from YouTube. That's all I'm concerned about.
So should this be just taking a cue from the last thing? Should this be the mindset of our average young Nigerian right now, adapting to the reality? Of course, the boundaries is a borderless world that we're in. There are no, like you said, the bottlenecks that before now stop you.
Access is equalized.
It's equalized, and everyone in every. Is this specifically for some professions, or it's every single thing?
General
virtually
industries,
every
different
sphere of human endeavor has been equalized virtually, and you can give any example. I mean, we know we don't produce in Nigeria, so I mean, primarily our economy is either crude or commerce. That's why we call Nigerians hustlers, because you know what? I mean, you just have to buy something and sell it. So we do buying and selling. You will hustle. But even if you weren't hustling, if you were an artist and you sing, I mean, before you would have needed to get into a studio. Today, everybody's phone is their access to millions, and you can just sing. Whatever it is that you do, I mean, even if you create something, if you were a sculptor, if you create something with your craft, I mean, before you'd have needed to create and maybe go to a studio to get them to sign you on so that you can maybe do like an exhibition and people come to pay. In this day and age, access is equalized, knowledge is equalized. And so you can leverage technology for whatever it is that you do, whether you create and sell them online or you create and sell them offline. Technology gives you access. So the first thing, like I said, is knowledge. But the next is more a cultural shift to leverage technology, because there's nothing now you really can do. Now, the trouble you may have is that for many of us, we are still stuck in the past. It's not occurred to us. We think that it's only the calendar that has changed and not life essentially that has changed. And so people still think that, I mean, the only way to earn for people in my generation, you know, we are very old now. We are almost dinosaurs. People think that the only way to earn is either to work or to create a business. We think is that. But for some people, you know what they do? There's something called drop shipping.
Say that again?
Drop shipping.
Wow.
I mean, one of my proteges, we had lunch, and she sat me down and told me she runs a multi-million naira business by doing nothing.
How's that possible?
Thank you. So in the digital world, she's realized that there are people who need content as a business. There are many Nigerians who can create content, but they don't know how to go around digitally. So she sort of created an entity, registered it in the US. She's a Nigerian. Then she will get people who want to write books, who want to do stuff. She'll get them online. She'll get so many Nigerians who knows how to write like that. Some of them even from polytechnics. She links them up. She's created an entity. She just bought a car like last month.
Wow. And
she's a young girl. She's a young girl. So she's created, because she realized that in the digital space, I mean, we're talking just before we started the show, that opportunities, our economy, we're just getting out of inflation at about 19-20%. And those are official rates. I mean, I don't want to share what I think the unofficial rates are. So our economy is shrinking. Inflation is increasing. The opportunities are few and far today. But in the digital world, it's just opening up. So we need to now transition our minds to say, you know what used to happen is not necessarily, I mean, before, if you left secondary school, you would have needed to write JAMB and go to a university. And today, there are tons of people who have not gone to university. They are well educated by studying online. You know, in 2006-7, Olusegun Obasanjo started Nigerian Open University. Studying by correspondence. And people felt that it was for people who didn't pass JAMB. I mean, you go to Open University. That's if you didn't pass JAMB.
Yeah.
Today, virtually all of us write our master's program by correspondence. Online.
That's right.
Now, people are doing BScs by correspondence. People are doing specialist courses. Before, it used to be that you need to drive to Lagos Business School. Now, people are taking Lagos Business Schools courses by our world has changed. I mean, it's still us, but we're not paying attention. The world really has changed. And like you said when we started, it won't go back to default. This is the new default.
Wow.
Let's talk about businesses.
Yeah.
Man, you said a lot. You have said a lot. And I'm hoping that Nigerians are listening and, having this sink in, because trust me sitting on this part, I'm trying, all my best to allow everything sink in. Let's talk about businesses. How can businesses adapt? I mean, you talked about the fact that, we see both of us on radio.
Yeah.
We must have had some certification courses coming on the, for us to be certified to be on the radio. But like you said, this access is now boundless. I mean, you have people who can, go on the air and broadcast with their phones. I'm using my industry, right, as an example. But hey, let's look at other industries.
Yeah.
How do you think that they can adapt to this? And we hear people losing their jobs because of these new technologies and all of that. How do you think businesses can adapt to this new life that we found ourselves in?
I think the first thing is to agree that your organization is in the business of value creation and not what you think you do now. I'll give you an example. If you work in a car company, the organization will claim that, we create cars. That's not what you do. Before COVID or before, I mean, the word of before, yes. You can say that I work in an accounting company, accounting firm. You can say we work in, there's no forward-looking company that talks like that anymore. If you've checked, all the leading companies in the world have even changed. Some have changed their name, they've changed their focus.
Yeah.
What we have realized is that if you want to be a company, a forward-looking company that keeps evolving, then you need to be in the direction of where progress and growth is.
Okay.
So today, for example, one of the biggest companies in self-driving cars technology is Google. And Google is supposed to be a search company.
Okay.
You see?
One of the companies that is leading in terms of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is Tesla. And Tesla is an electrical company. So before, it used to be that companies were just focused on what they are doing. And right before their eyes, some of those industries died. Imagine a company whose whole reason for being is producing typewriters. Do you think they'll be around today? So the first is the dynamic evolution of businesses, just like human beings. If you think that the only way to VI is Ahmadu Bello, when Ahmadu Bello was under construction, your life will be hell.
That's right. Wow, Larry, we need to have a part 2 of this, man. Our time is fast spent so quickly, but you've hit it in the nail and in the head, and I hope the listener has something. So we're going to give you an opportunity for those who are listening to call in and ask a question as we go on. You not hear much from Larry; he'll just respond to you on a question. But what you've heard so far, let it sink. And the good thing is, you can always get back to this conversation because it was streamed live on Facebook and on YouTube. You could go back and listen to it and then ask yourself, am I adapting? How can I adapt? Because the truth is, if you do not, you would have a situation of insecurity, people thinking that it's all over. All they can do is carry guns and attack their fellow human beings who are in the same problem, the same soup, and the companies are in the same soup. So we need to change the mindset. We need to move from depending to creating something for ourselves, and the first step is to adapt.
All right.
On Take It Talk today.
You said it all. 0700 993 993 993, and the female only line is 01465 7190. The phone lines are buzzing.
Absolutely. And do not forget that this time, check the time right, is the Jumia moment. And for those who are just joining us, you would be, giving an opportunity. From now till 1:30 is sponsored by Jumia. So you'll be hearing a few things about Jumia as we proceed. And starting with this first one, and right after that, we'll take your calls to hear what your questions are for Larry And the
Why
topic.
are you so excited?
Just saw the blender I've been looking for on Jumia with a woof discount.
Yes! Jumia 9th anniversary sale is on. Get up to 70% off TVs, blenders, phones, and groceries. Buy Benetton blender for 13,990 naira. Use the voucher code Jumia Info, that is Jumia INFO, for extra 15% discount and enjoy next day delivery. Rush now as offer valid till June 26. Terms and conditions apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Hello, welcome to Teke Talk.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Thank you. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Mandela. I'm calling from Satellite House.
All right, good to have you, Mandela. You have a question for a guest?
Yes, I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
You see, I listened to what she said. That's very, very interesting. The world we are now is changing, and every man has to follow along.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Me, as a crafty man, I'm a welder by profession.
Okay.
You know, and I believe I can teach my work online. So I see some people do something like that on YouTube, and how they get to paid and they are paid for it. You know, people watch how they do the work on YouTube, and they teach people online how to do their work, how to do the work. Because I believe that not everybody that have access to everybody like that.
That's right.
So I don't know how is it possible.
All right.
To create such a link for people to benefit from.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. So we'll take note of that question, and then take 3 more calls. If there's the other question, then have you to respond to. Hello. Okay. Good morning. I almost spoke.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, they go case from Lake.
All right, good to have you.
Welcome.
Yeah, your guests have offloaded a lot. So, well, my own area question was I want to ask, yes, all the things you said are good. What would you say, as in what ways would you profile for people to harness their skills and talents online? Like personally for me, I have great content, great ideas. I even created a Nigerian social media site.
Okay.
So, but there are no sponsors anywhere. Nobody helping out to build a standard site like that. You're going to spend some kind of money. So is there any platform, or you have areas where people like us who have concept, great ideas, can actually have people to key into those ideas?
All right, great. It's a straight question. I'm going to take you from there because that one is a bit, and I'll ask you. Let's start with that for a second.
Okay.
What constitutes a great idea? When people say they have a great idea in this our world today, what do they constitute a great idea?
I should start by saying, unfortunately, ideas are a dime a dozen. And so even in intellectual property laws, you can't patent an idea. An idea is an idea is an idea. An idea moves from an idea when you start executing, creating, implementing, and then you have processes that are unique to you and you can patent.
Okay.
All right? But I think what this question is not about the idea, because it seems to know what to do.
Okay.
It's more about how to commercialize it. And I tell people, most of the mistakes that technology people like him make in Nigeria is that we try to reinvent the wheel. And I've made some of those mistakes myself. We try to create a platform, forgetting that what sells online is not the stuff. What is value online is not whatever it is that you're creating. Is what people say value is. See, let me tell a joke. People think that Nigerian social media influencers are a big fraud. Many people who are not, they think they're a big fraud. And most times I think the same. But what value is in this technologically driven world is what the audience says it is.
Great.
And so guess what? You guys perhaps create the best content in the world. I mean, look at how callers are on the call.
Yeah.
If you go online, they have to say so, or else that is not what they want to hear. And so even though I'm the one who train some of these social media influencers, in the social space, I'm not as valuable as them. My thoughts are not as renowned. And so have a responsibility to understand what this generation want to hear. When myself and you look at how deep our thoughts are, for social media is too above their intelligence. I mean, this thing is not as valuable.
It's not.
These things we've discussed.
Absolutely.
And so we have a responsibility to understand that what we call value is not value.
Absolutely.
What is valuable is what people will consume and they will regard it as. And the same response goes to the first guy. You say you're a welder, if I got him correctly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you are in an offline world.
Yeah.
In an online world, you are not a welder. You are somebody who is using your welding capability to teach. And so what you are selling is not welding, it's knowledge.
Yeah.
And so it's a big transition. Because there are people now who want to know, because I mean, technology equalizes. Today, when you have a problem at home, domestic problem, much of what you do is to go check Google how to solve it. And so you have a unique opportunity to sell knowledge and commercialize your own knowledge.
While
So you're
you're
not
doing
a
your
welder.
welding.
Why you do so? You're a welder offline, but online you're not going to weld on the phone. You are selling knowledge, and that's the transition even me I had to make. I mean, I train. So if you're going to commercialize or you're going to get value for it, it's something else online.
That's right.
And so that shift is what we all have to make for us to get value.
Absolutely.
Wow, Larry, we have to really let you go. I mean, and a lot is coming here. We'll certainly come back here. I mean, we'll have another part of this conversation. The guys, moving forward from week in, week out, we'll have some of these brightest minds that I know. Thank God that I know some very, very, the smartest guys on the continent. We'll bring them here. Let's have these conversations and Teke Talk. Let's see how we can adapt. Let's see how we can help Nigerians adapt.
That's right. Somebody here is saying, good morning to you all. Please, does Lanre mentor or consult? I would love to get in touch with him.
So how can they find you on social media for those who like to, or how would you have them get across to you?
Yeah, it's Lanre Basamta on all platforms. And I do consult. I do mentor. I do this. I mean, if you checked, like Colin said, I wrote a book. I work with young people primarily. And this is more than a passion. It's like a calling. I've been doing this 17 years. So I'm happy to work with you. Just check me up online and we'll talk.
Lanre Basamta, spelled as pronounced. Just make sure you do that. Thank you, Larry, for coming on the show today.
The pleasure is mine. It's good to see the two of you together. Such an amazing chemistry, really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, man, guys, it's 11:23. Don't forget that this segment is also this particular minutes that we're in, sponsored by, Jumia, who is 9. Jumia is 9, and they'll be giving out a lot of goodies and a lot of celebration. Someone was clapping. Know.
Yes, make I clap. So they did down my food from there. Jumia Foods.
Nice one.
Are you serious?
Nice.
What was the experience like?
It's been good. It's been
great
good.
experience.
I mean, Yin Yang, they know that's where I order my food from.
All right, beautiful, man. Thank you so much for that. But guys, you can get a discounted or a 1,500 naira discount by listening to this particular segment and also just requesting for it. So if you call and say, I need the code, I need a special code to help me get that 1K5 discounts whenever I purchase something on the app, you go ahead, just call us. We love you like that. Nigeria Info and Jumia coming together to take care of you. You must be special. You must be very, very special for that to happen. So call us and let's get this going. 0700 993 993 993.
That's right. The female only line is 01465 7190. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Teke. What's up, Lagos?
Yes, alive.
Yes, I'm David calling from Dagada.
All right, David.
Yeah, Jumia is 9.
Okay, how's the Jumia?
I shop on Jumia since the beginning of the COVID.
Okay.
Wow.
In fact, yes, I have the app. I have an account with them. I even bought. I was the one that sent that message that I got a sneakers on.
Oh, nice one.
Wow.
They know me like.
Like
I've been shopping with them since the beginning of COVID.
Wow.
Okay. Today.
So has Jumia been good to you?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, great.
What I like most about Jumia is their commitment to customers and satisfaction. Like if you don't get something you don't like, you can send them a message, they come pick it up. They refund your money and even the money of the shipment.
Wow, that's
I love that about them. Yes,
fantastic. Right. So for saying that alone, even the Jumia will be like, Collins, don't ask him a question. Just give you guys, Andrea, just give him the code. So the code is Jumia Info. Info spelled as pronounced in capital letters. So you can use that code. you get your discounts in whatever you purchase. All right. Thank you so much, and appreciate Jumia info. Just use the code. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know somebody's typing now. I didn't give you. If you didn't call, I didn't give you. Anyways, thanks so much for calling. Appreciate you. And wow, what a day. We need to take a break, something from Jumia again, and then after that, to squeeze in 1 or 2 calls, and then we'll continue with the fun time here with the Tekers on radio.
Why are you so excited? Just saw the blender I've been looking for on Jumia with a woof discount.
Yes, Jumia 9th anniversary sale is on. Get up to 70% off TVs, blenders, phones, and groceries. Buy Benetton blender for 13,990 naira. Use the voucher code Jumia Info. That is Jumia INFO for extra 15% discount and enjoy next day delivery. Rush now as offer valid till June 26. Terms and conditions apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
All right, welcome back. 11:27 on the clock. The phone lines are buzzing. You guys.
Is it Awoof related? This call now, is it Awoof related?
It is. But hey, we can still squeeze in a few calls. Jumia S9, and we're still celebrating with them.
Hello, how are you doing? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? What's your name,
I'm
please?
fine, thank you. My name is Mabel.
Hi, Mabel.
Hi, Mabel.
You're calling from where?
I'm calling from Uganda.
All right. The password is?
Jumia is 9.
Okay.
See, I'm in a good mood. Are you not in a good mood?
I'm in a very good mood.
Oh, yeah, collect code. Jumia info. For you.
Excuse me. There is something I won, I think last week, but I've not been contacted.
Okay, they will. I think there's a voucher they're creating for all of the winners. It will be available soon. I mean, you'll get it. They'll get across to you. All right? And thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go and use the code still.
But now for you, you said, excuse me.
He said, excuse me, please. That's not why I'm here. Man. Thank you for being real. This is real people, and it's real conversation on real radio.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We're real couples.
There's something special about, I mean, you look this morning, really. I love it. I really love it. Maybe I'm falling in love with makeups even more.
This blushing, I don't get it. Why are you deciding to hype me like this, man?
No, it's not hype.
You're
it is what it
making me
is.
blush.
But you know you're fine now.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't know.
I know. I'm a fine girl.
Absolutely, guys. We'll be having another guest to wrap up the conversation for a great opportunity for you. And the guest will be bringing that opportunity your way. I think there's a fantastic seminar coming up. It's going to be free, but you have to learn a lot of opportunities. Today is a day filled with opportunities for you out there listening to us. If I were you, I'll stay tuned.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.